The Hauberg Estate is an historic building located in Rock Island, Illinois, built in the early 1900s. The home has been on the National Register of Historic Places since 1972. Now, after 16 months of renovation, you can find a portion of the estate listed on Airbnb. Very cool. Deb Quincy is the executive director of the Hauberg Estate and is joining us today. Deb, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm excited to talk about this. It's called Andrew's Place.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about it specifically, where it's located on the property and kind of what it looks like.
So it's on the second floor of the carriage house.
Very cool.
So the carriage house is a total of 8,000 square feet.
Wow.
The apartment, and there's actually 4 floors. There's a basement, first floor, second floor, and a whole attic up above. So, yeah, so Andrew's Place is on the second floor.
Okay.
And it's large.
Very large, yeah. It's got several bedrooms. I think I read 3 bedrooms there, and it's above the carriage house, as you mentioned, which is also a super cool place to hang out right now because you guys have done a whole lot with that space.
We have, yeah. Actually, June. It'll be about a year and a half ago. We opened up the carriage house bar and gift shop.
Yeah.
And that was a $600,000 renovation.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it looks incredible. I remember we were there when it first opened up, and so this is just another cool addition to that part of the property. So talk about this space, Andrew's Place, and who it is named after. There's a very cool story behind the naming of this space. So
Andrew Reitz was the driver for the Denkman family, which Suzanne was a Denkman.
Okay.
That was the lumber heiress. Okay. Suzanne was the lumber heiress. And when her parents passed away, she brought Andrew over to her mansion instead of the other mansion. So Andrew stayed in the families for 50 years.
50 years, and he lived there on the property as well?
He lived on the second floor.
Okay, so clearly made a big impact on the Denkman family throughout his time, which is, you know, it's cool that there's like a little ode to him. So he was a driver, a gardener, he just kind of did all this stuff there.
He did everything pretty much in that building. So one part of it, of the first floor, is the auto house. And he took care of the cars, which he did not like.
Okay.
Because he was more used to horse and carriages.
Okay.
And then the carriage house, they really didn't do a whole lot with the animals, with the horses at that point. Still on occasion, but she had 2 Baker Electrics. And so he had to learn how to drive them.
Wow.
And there's a quote that John Hauberg had put that when they retired Andrew, that one has to know how to avoid a collision. Because he just did not like the cars, and he kept getting in accidents.
Oh my gosh. A little funny story there. Well, the Friends of Hauberg, the foundation, has really been planning on this renovation for quite a long time. I was thinking, I read something like about a decade that this has been kind of on the list.
Yeah, we've been operating it for 8 years.
Okay.
So, of course, when we first started everything, you know, we were behind the 8 ball quite a bit. It was pretty run down and needed a lot done.
Yeah.
And so trying to figure out how we could generate more revenue to keep the estate up. I think it was probably about about 2018. We had the mayor over at that time going through the carriage house, and at that time all it was used for was for storage.
Sure. Wow,
yeah.
what a change that we've seen.
A big change.
That's
so
incredible.
Yeah, it's been in the thought process for quite a while.
Yeah, well, it's very exciting to see all of that come to fruition in a way. And you just mentioned it. I mean, ultimately, there's a foundation. This is a revenue stream to continue doing work and things like that. So talk about, you know, what you hope to see from this Airbnb. I mean, it just went on the internet. And I do want to say, too, here's the posting there on Airbnb. That's what it looks like. So for people who are not familiar, who've never used Airbnb, it's an extremely popular service. I mean, if you're vacationing anywhere in the world, you just go on this website and you can look around for really the perfect rental for you, for your family, for your workplace trip, whatever it may be. So this is just really an awesome thing that, you know, is now being offered here in the Quad Cities. I can't even imagine how many people would want to have events and things like that at Hauberg or at the Carriage House, and just having this so close.
Yeah,
Very cool.
A lot of the weddings.
Yes.
A lot of the wedding parties are inquiring about it because they can just stay there.
They can just stay there, get ready for the wedding, do the whole thing. I mean, I just think it's amazing. Well, I was looking at the Facebook page recently, I think before the end of the year, and there's a lot of things on the wish list as far as the Hauberg Estate is concerned. So can you kind of talk a little bit or highlight maybe a few of the things that you are going to be working on?
The formal rose garden is one thing that we are getting done this year. The problem we are having with that is that since it is a landmark property, we have to match the brick. And the brick is no longer getting made.
Oh, wow. That is problematic.
That is problematic. So we're working on that. We're trying to find some brick companies that are actually will make the brick for us because we just can't find it anywhere.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
And then the greenhouse. The greenhouse has been missing for a long, long time, and we just thought it was kind of scattered everywhere. And last spring, during our plant sale, our native plant sale, a lady came up and said, I know where it's at.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's in New Boston.
No kidding.
It's in New Boston, and a elderly gentleman is still using it. We're going to replace it with something else for him, but he's willing to give it back to us.
Oh, wow.
So that will also be turned into a, it's called Miss Suzanne Denkman, because that's on the plan of the conservatory. So it'll be Miss Suzanne Denkman's Conservatory Tea and Coffee Shop.
Oh my gosh.
So it won't be finished this year, but it'll start this
It'll be
year.
starting this year, which is very, very exciting. And we won't make you reveal anything, and of course you wouldn't, but you did hint at the possibility of a surprise coming to that very special Carriage House. So that is something that we should all be looking forward to.
Yes.
Any hints?
Yes.
Any hints? Any hints you want to give us?
It's something that has been sitting around for a couple years now.
Good hint.
We just could not get it to work.
Okay.
And now we can.
And now you can.
And we have. We just have to install it.
Okay, see, those are great hints. All super exciting. So much to look forward to through these chilly winter months, because before we know it, we'll all be out roaming around the Hauberg Estate once again. And if you want to learn more about this historic estate, from its history to plans for the future, just visit the website right there on your screen. That is haubergestate.org. Deb, wonderful to talk with you today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.